Okay, so we had a vacation planned to Portugal about 8 months before we knew we were going to Rotan.
Frank had decided for our 25th wedding anniversary, he wanted to plan a trip for us to go to Portugal. And he took the lead and he planned pretty much everything, and it was pretty spectacular.
So this is just a recap day by day of uh, what we did. So this is our first day.
Oh, hi. We're on the plane. We made it. We're going to Portugal. We made it.
We landed in Portugal.
Our flight went through Philadelphia, and from Philadelphia straight on to Lisbon. It was an overnight flight, so we got there about 10 in the morning and got our first view of the city as we Ubered to our hostel that Frank had arranged for us to stay in.
We got there early, but they wouldn't let us check in until like 3 o'clock or 3:30, and we were there probably at 11. So we had a few hours to kill. So we just got here, dropped our stuff at the hostel. We can't check in until 3, so we're walking to the castle up a lot of stairs and hills.
Frank really kind of knew some highlights of things that he wanted to see. And so as he said, let's go find the castle. And so it's pretty cool. I had no idea anything about Lisbon and was really surprised by all of the hills and the cobblestone. I loved it because I think it showed I love the cobblestone because it shows how old the city is. Um, and I also like that he, found these hostels for us to stay in. They were really great quality, clean. Everybody was super friendly, a great community. It was fun.
Yeah, in Lisbon, everything was either uphill or downhill or stairs. There was like no flat ground. I was not expecting that. I heard, to bring walking shoes and whatnot, and I heard about the cobblestone, but not about everything being on either incline or decline. And it was. We were going up and down the whole time. So, yeah, like Bonnie said, we saw the castle, and so we decided to walk there. So we just walked up and up and up, looking for it. And there's nothing there. It's just walls and walls and walls that we got to walk around. It was pretty cool, and it had some really great views of the city. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I did too. It was a lot more extensive than any other castle I'd seen of the similar nature, and I did love the views. It was the first time I think we saw the Golden Gate Bridge, that I affectionately call it, because I didn't know that Lisbon had a bridge that pretty much looks just like the Golden Gate Bridge. You could see everything.
So we did the castle, and then we had still an hour or two to kill. So we walked around some more, leaving the castle, walking down the hill. Everything to the castle was uphill. So I think that's when we were looking for the water. So we're just trying to go downhill to find the water.
Yeah, you knew that there was a big place called the Square that was right on the water. So we did. We walked down to try and find the square. It's like a big plaza area.
Yeah, so we walked for the better half of probably 3 hours after getting there. There's just lots of people, lots of tourists, tons of people. It didn't seem too loud, even with all the people. Lots of cute little shops and cafes and food places there. The traffic in Lisbon, like in the city Lisbon, was pretty busy. Yeah, so we finally found the square, and at the opening of the square was the waterfront. So we hung out at the square for a second, walked around, and went to the water.
Mm-hmm. Walked down the water. It's not a beach. It was just like basically they built the city up right up against the water, like rocks, I guess. It's pretty neat.
So then we made our way back into the city and just seeing some of the sights and monuments they have. They have monuments like every few blocks. They're everywhere. Not really sure where we were. We were just walking around.
Oh, this is where we did find a place to exchange money. Right by this plaza. I've lived in Europe before and visited, and I was surprised by how different from parts of Spain that I've been in it is. And I also was surprised like to see the northern European influence in a lot of the architecture, like in the colorful row buildings that are so compact in the old city, similar to what we saw in Latvia. And then, definitely the newer parts of Lisbon look a lot like other parts of Europe. Um, but I'm just fascinated by its uniqueness and just the layers, hills and hills, and how they built the old homes like into the hills. It was crazy, cool.
So we did find a place for lunch, I think, after we changed money. So we've been walking around for a few hours. What are your impressions?
It's old. I had no idea the city was this old and beautiful and crowded. Like everything is so close together, all of the buildings. There's not any like empty space. The roads are narrow. But we were just talking about how it's like quiet. When you're walking around inside the streets, it's just quiet. The smells are good. Smell fish, and olive oil, pizza every now and then. It's unique. I have never been in a town. I've been in towns that like have parts of it, and it's like a conglomeration of a lot of different influences, it seems. So I'm more curious about the history now of Portugal.
And just had like a light lunch. We ended up going back to the hostel around 3 and sitting at the hostel for a while until we could check in. We got a tour of the hostel and we were able to check in, and then we went, I think we sat for a few minutes and rested, and then we went back out to see what we could find.
We came to this neat little area. It's like a bi-level community plaza area, like just a gathering area, like a park. But the top level has like the cafe, stop and buy a coffee or a glass of wine, and lots of tables and chairs for people to sit out at. And then down below, a second lower level that's a garden area where people are doing the same thing. And the views were just pretty awesome, and it was just nice to see the people gathering. You'd hear somebody maybe playing the guitar. It's just a neat little cultural area, community area.
Yeah, it's nice to see everybody outside and doing stuff outside and walking around and just being not stuck in their homes or on their phones or anything like that. But we stayed there for a little bit. And then we headed deeper into town, I believe, I think we got ice cream on that walk.
Oh yeah.
So nice in the evening.
We thought we were here on a Tuesday, and we thought that it was lively. We thought, oh, this is awesome! All these street cafes and people out and about. Just wait till you see Saturdays, because it was crazy busy.
Portugal?
Yeah, so we just walked around. I don't even think we had dinner that day. I don't remember having dinner on the first day, just lunch. We just walked around until we were tired. Went back around 10 or 11 to the hostel. We had 2 roommates, but they never even showed up.
Should we do another lap
Yeah.
They must have stayed out all night.
or be done?
But I think that's pretty much it for the first day. We just walked around. We saw the castle. We saw the square. Went to the beach, or the waterfront, I guess it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Had lunch.
Old world.
And headed back in. Any other first impressions of Lisbon?
No, I think I've said them.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. And I did like the hostel. I think you researched it, and found a place that was fabulous. Because again, it was like that first impression of that community vibe, that everybody is just hanging out together and socializing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so basically that's the first day. Oh, we did have dinner. We went to Ramiro's. Our Uber driver from the airport on the way into town, he pointed out a place called Ramiro's to us, and said it was really good. So we did go there for dinner, and it was just seafood. It was really good. It was packed. There was tons of people. I think there was almost an hour wait list. So we just walked around for an hour, and then came back, and pretty much our table was ready. So we just walked in and were able to eat. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. It was just super simple and fresh. We had basically like different types of prawns or shrimp. Garlic bread was so good. It was great. And then he told me, don't get used to Lisbon, we're leaving in the morning, and I didn't know where we were going.
Oh yeah, I hadn't told Bonnie what we were doing yet. So yeah, the next day, after day 2, we were flying to the Azores, and she didn't know about it yet. So yeah, we went to bed, and I told her I had to wake up early. So that was that. Stay tuned for day 2. Yeah.